Hey, I'm Sébastien Francoeur. I'm a VFX soup here at Rodeo FX.
And I'm Yvon Jardel, Head of Animation at Rodeo FX.
Today we're going to talk about The Witcher, and more specifically, Eskel Leshy.
Let's get started.
I think it's really important to be able to, start the moves early, because in 2D, in a 2D concept, everything is still, everything looks good, but as soon as we start to make it move, sometimes it can break very easily.
Yeah, I mean, it was a complex character. I think it wasn't clear exactly how it was going to move with all its branches and everything. It's always exciting when we get the opportunity to design how something is going to move.
If we look at the first concept of Eskel Leshy, it's more like a biped with some branches around his head. And when we look at that final result, we're seeing, a kind of big, bold character with a lot of roots, going and vanishing away.
When we saw it, our reaction to the concept was, okay, how are we going to address this? There are potentially tons of branches interaction. What's the best technical solution? And it became almost like an octopus with many branches that he would use to move around.
What was it? Yeah. What was your challenge?
Well, I think it's a good time to give a shout out to the rigger. I think one of the reasons why we didn't approach all those branches procedurally is because we felt it wasn't clear exactly how they were going to behave. As a result, we had all this flexibility in the rig, but we had to animate everything manually.
But yeah. But those branches, was serving a subject or needed to tell a story. With a procedural approach, that would have been extremely challenging, to build, a setup that would be able to serve it. So, I think it was the wisest decision for the needs at the time.
The artistic control versus the pain of the animator. But the big shout out to the animation team as well.
On the plates we can see actually those two blue guys, pulling out the table. And at the end, that's really that table that we kept.
I thought it was full CG, but now I understand why it looks so good. But it's really difficult on set to get an accurate idea of what the creature is going to look like. I remember like huge foam blocks that the actor was wearing on his back, and the way it was restraining his movement and forcing him to lose in balance. All these ideas were like performance cues that we used later on.
But at the same time, it's a constraint and it's not a constraint. Of course, it's not giving the full flexibility, in some cases that you want to achieve the proper performance. But at the same time, it gives the realism and it also locked the performance, some kind of in between.
Yeah.
In some cases, when they were using those stuff on shoot, at those moments, we literally moved to a full CG character. So basically, Yvon and his team had the full latitude for the full performance.
Whenever we had to come up with new body mechanics like this, we realized there wasn't so much we could keep. So the face, as much as possible, face is something incredibly hard to reproduce. So for all close-up, we are keeping the face 100%. There's a shot in two parts where Eskel emerges from the top floor and then he rolls down the wall. Like he rolls like a tumbleweed, comes to a stop, he reveals himself. This shot is incredibly long. It's the hardest shot, and it's a shot that the client used to explore ideas about the timing in this character and the speed. So I don't know how many times we spent. That was by far the hardest. And again, huge shout out to the animation team for their patience. I think it's the first shot we started and the last one we touched.
I agree with you, but at the end, it comes out and it's a really nice shot.
That's it, everybody. We hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Breaking Down the Breakdown.
Thanks for watching.